What's up guys, I am BlackOpsAmazing. Welcome back to another Zombies Q&A on the channel where we take your questions from the comment section below and we answer them to do with the zombie storyline, Easter eggs and a few other things as well. So as always, if you enjoyed today's video, you guys know what to do by now. Drop a like rating, make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest zombies content on the channel, and also click that bell notification icon as well. But without without further ado, let's get into it. Here we go. So the first question of today from Edward Richtofen says, why in the Origins ending does Sam and Eddie have an American accent? A very popular question that a lot of people seem to get confused about. But you aren't quite right, you can tell in the Origins ending, Eddie of course is German, Samantha as well of course is German, but when you listen to their accents, they don't really sound German.
You're getting everything wrong. I told you before, their eyes should be blue.
It's my turn, Eddie. I can do whatever I want.
But you don't even know how to play properly. Girls don't know enough about zombies.
If you compare them to Samantha's father, Maxie saw the older version of Eddie, which is Richtofen. Of course, both Maxis and Richtofen have very German accents, but Sam and Eddie don't. Well, there could be a few different reasons. We know that both of these children aren't living in Germany, they are in Monty's perfect universe. In the house, we don't exactly know its location, but since they aren't living in Germany, they're still children, and you aren't born with an accent, you gain it over time through your childhood. Possibly they just haven't developed their accent because they aren't living in Germany. They've been living in the house in Monty's universe. We know that Eddie was a soul of a previous version of Richtofen. That soul was given to Dr. Monty in the house, and then Monty turned his soul into a physical body. So that could explain why he doesn't have a German accent, but the same can't really be said for Samantha because she wasn't a soul. Samantha came from different universes. She came all the way from Buried and then Origins and then eventually to the house. She had a German accent all the way back then, so why doesn't she have one now in the house? Unless there's something I'm missing. That for me is a little bit strange, because like I said, Eddie was a soul, but Samantha wasn't. She's the German girl that we've had for a long time. Plus her father's German, so you would have thought she would have picked some of it up from him as well, but then again she hasn't been with him for most of the time, so it's really difficult to explain. We aren't told this by Treyarch or anything like that. It isn't explained to us, but it definitely doesn't sound like they have a German accent, or at least if they do, it's not very strong at all. So that's all I can really give you for that. The next question from Tyler says, hey BOA, how come at the end of the Gorod Karuvi cutscene do we see 3 characters come out of the summoning key, but we don't see the Shadow Man? Why is that? Well, that's correct. We know there was more than one soul inside of the summoning key. There was Takeo, Nikolai and Dempsey's, but there was also the Shadow Man that was collected inside of here, and not only him, but also the other characters that we sacrificed in Shadows of Evil as well. Yet when it comes to releasing the souls in Gorod Karuvi and letting them go up to the house to Dr. Monty, only 3 of the souls come out. The others don't. Well, I don't exactly know how the summoning key works. It's possible that it's up to the person who's holding it to release the souls. And since Richtofen didn't know that the Shadow Man was in here, or the other people from Shadows of Evil, he only thought that Nikolai, Takeo and Dempsey was in the summoning key, then that could be why. For all we know, it's up to the person who's holding it, in this case Richtofen. They choose which souls to release and let them go, and since Richtofen only knew that Takeo, Dempsey and Nikolai was in here, then they were the souls that were released. He didn't know about the Shadow Man or the other characters. That's really the only reason I could see possible. If it was different, then I would think the other characters would be released as well, but I mean, who knows? Again, it's one of the many things that we're not told. It was a big surprise when we saw it for the first time in Gorod Karuvi. Not only that, but a lot of people also thought that Richtofen's soul would have released as well, which it didn't. Of course, he was already in the house as a child, but the other characters didn't know that at the time. So yeah, that's it. I mean, maybe it's something different. Is it possible that it's up to the souls? Do they choose if they leave? The next question from RexoDudeX13 says, hey BOA, I have a question. Is the witch in Buried Samantha? Because she looks like her. Again, like all of these, a very popular question that I've answered, but not directly, quite a few times already. There's no proof or anything to show that the witch in Buried is Samantha. In fact, if you take a look at the two, you can tell that this isn't Samantha, and it wouldn't make sense for it to be her, but the reason why a lot of people ask this is because we don't know who this woman is. She was just randomly thrown into this map without any background information All we know is that she was the maid of this house. She was the lady of the house. She looked after it, she cleaned it, but that's all we know. We don't know her name, what else she does, where she's from, why she's here, how old is she, but it's clearly not Samantha. If you take a look at the two, they do look different. They have their hair a bit different. Samantha is a child. I can't remember her exact age, but she's somewhere around about 9, I think. Whereas this woman looks in her 20s. And also by her voice in game, you can tell she's in her maybe 20s as well. So clearly it isn't Samantha. However, I have done a video on her already, the story of video. If you want to check it out, I will link it down in the description. If I forget, just remind me or just search the story of the witch on my channel. You can find it pretty easily. But no, this isn't Samantha. This was a lady that worked here, cleaned this house, possibly lived here. We don't know her name, like I said, her age, or anything about her, but we can say this is not Samantha. Alan Ham says, BOA, I have 2 questions. The first one is, if all other universes are destroyed besides from Monty's perfect universe, then does that mean that Stanley Ferguson is dead? And 2, are there other people in Monty's perfect world? So answering the first one, that's a simple one to answer. No, Stanley Ferguson isn't dead. He's very much alive. And as for your second one, are there other people in Monty's perfect world? Well, if you actually take a look at the trailer, you can see there are houses around the place. There's like farms, there's buildings, and if Monty built this perfect universe, why would he also put other buildings here? And if it wasn't him, then it must have been other people. Monty is seen as the god of our zombies world. If he has the power to create universes, he has the power to create life, I would assume. And so I'd also assume that there are other people, maybe not now, but in the future, that would live in Monty's perfect universe. Like I said, we don't see anyone within the trailer, but there are other houses around, which is very suspicious. You'd think with them there that there are people living here, but obviously we never see them, so we can't say for sure. But then again, on the other side, you could also say if Monty is focusing on making this a perfect world, a place for the kids to grow up safe, and then why would he put other people here as well if he's busy trying to make it safe? I don't know. It's really hard to explain things when you don't quite know how they work. But it is odd. Possibly there are people living here, I'm not sure. Iron Vade says, hey BOA, what is the nav card in transit? So the nav card system wasn't only for transit, it was for transit, die rise, and buried. And it was a way to link all of those 3 maps up. We had the nav cards, and of course you put the nav cards into the nav card tables, but we used these to join all 3 of the radio masts in transit, die rise, and buried together. And then once you did that, you could then finally activate the button in buried, in which it would let you complete each different separate side of the ending. So basically these nav cards are to link up all of the pylons in transit, die rise, and buried. That is what they were for. I was really confused when I first saw these, and I know a lot of people were like, what the hell are these going to be used for? And then we saw it again in die rise, and the same thing happened again in buried, until we finally realized, okay, this is kind of a super Easter egg where we complete all of these Easter eggs on the same side for these maps, and we get this one super ending for buried. You could choose either the Max's side or the Richtofen side. So that's what the nav cards were for. Oliver Goodyear says, BOA, do you think we will get another Something of the Dead in BO4? So it's kind of a tradition now that we get a Something of the Dead map. It started in BO1 when we got Call of the Dead, and then in BO2 we got Mob of the Dead. In BO3 we didn't get one. It's usually DLC 2, but the DLC 2 map that we got for BO3 was Zetsubo no Shima. And I guess they really didn't have a choice to make a of the Dead map for BO3, because if they did that, that would have meant that we missed out on killing one of our characters. Since we were going around all of these locations in Black Ops 3 Zombies, we went to Horizon Draka to kill Dempsey, we went to Zetsubo no Shima to kill Takeo, Gored Kurovi to kill Nikolai. If we missed one of those locations, then we wouldn't have been able to kill all of our characters. So I guess making a map that wasn't to do with our premise characters would have messed up the storyline. So I can see why they didn't do it for Black Ops 3, and also because we did have a celebrity cast for the first map. But I definitely think this could return for Black Ops 4. I think we could be getting an Of the Dead map. What would it be about? I don't know. Usually they're pretty random. As you see, Mob of the Dead was random, Call of the Dead also random, even though they do tie into the storyline in some way. I think in BO4 Zombies we are going to be getting an Of the Dead map. It could be called, I don't know, Rise of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. There's loads of things you can call it. And I also think we're going to be getting a celebrity cast in it as well. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, but I hope we do. Anyway guys, there we go. That is all for today's video. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you you have, you found out something new or interesting, make sure you drop a like rating, but of course you don't have to if you don't want to. It's up to you, but make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos. Also click that notification icon as well. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.